IFS saying that the Conservatives, Labour, Lib Dems and the SNP have failed to provide anything like full details on plans to cut the deficit, leaving the electorate in the dark. Well, the Liberal Democrats' David Laws joins us now from Westminster. Very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for joining us. Well, you do get brownie points, it must be said, for actually giving a clearer picture than the other parties, the IFS has said, but they've still said there's gaping holes in your plans. I'm sure you've looked at the report. Can you fill in the blanks?
Well, what I can certainly say is that I welcome the fact that the IFS have today given us what they describe as a tick and said that we have the most transparent plans of any political party. And we have set out in more detail not only than we have done before, but I think any other political party in British history, exactly how we're going to balance the budget and pay for our pledges. We've set out the measures on taxation, tax increases, on tax avoidance, on welfare savings, departmental areas that are protected and unprotected. And I think actually we have a very good record to be proud of, which is what the IFS is drawing attention to today. The people who have got questions to answer are the Tories with their 30 billion spending black hole and Labour with their confusion over borrowing plans. I'm very pleased with the IFS assessment of our plans today. I
know you're busy giving yourself a big pat on the back, but there's still one burning question. You said you'll raise £10 billion from tax avoidance and evasion, and the man who wrote the report, the head of the IFS, said to me just a few moments ago, can you really be sure that you'll raise that money? Exactly where is it going to come from? They haven't actually seen the policies.
Absolutely. What we're actually saying on tax avoidance is that we believe we can raise £7 billion by 2017-2018. Now, in order to get a sense of the ambition of that, this last coalition government, even with George Osborne, a Tory Chancellor of the Exchequer, has managed to raise £2 billion cumulatively each year of the Parliament. So what we're talking about is raising £3 billion in the future, more than we've been raising over the last few years. And the big thing...
So what's going to change?
The big thing that we're suggesting in this area that we would implement is a general anti-avoidance law, which would make it much more difficult for individuals and companies to pursue avoidance activity. The problem in the past is that governments have tended to chase after avoidance activity, closing down one loophole at a time. But of course, we operate in a world where there are very clever tax accountants and advisors who are constantly offering businesses and highly paid people other opportunities to avoid tax. By having what they've got in many other countries, a general anti-avoidance law, we make that much more difficult. And I actually think that we're being rather modest in the estimates for tax avoidance that we've got in our manifesto costings. I think we could do a lot better than that in government.
Just briefly, we are running out of time, but I want to ask you, given the big questions, as we've heard, for Labour and the Conservatives over their spending plans, if you end up forming a coalition with one party or the other, given what you've heard today, who would you rather it be?
Well, neither, because neither have got a clean bill of health from the IFS. Labour have got a problem that their borrowing plans are in chaos. The Tories have got a £30 billion black hole in their spending plans that could imply massive cuts to welfare, to early years education. Both of the other parties have got big questions to answer, but I'm very pleased that we've had a tick from the IFS today. That's probably the most complimentary thing I've ever heard from the IFS in recent years about a political party, and I'll settle for that.
Something to celebrate. You don't have many reasons to, unfortunately, at the moment, I imagine.
I think getting a tick and having the most transparent plans is something I can feel pretty content about, but we always look to do better.
OK, David Laws, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Happy man there. Let's go over to Sky Sports.